Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here with you guys. Before we start our 4th of July weekend, like hangouts, get togethers, enjoying fireworks, I wanted to get in here real quick to see how I can add some value. And I've got this question that was now asked probably 3 times in the last 24 hours. I had message from me in like just on my phone on Instagram asking me, hey, what is the fastest way to get a deal? Okay, that's the first one. Then I had multiple in Facebook. And then I personally had an introduction from someone that says, hey, I know nothing about real estate, but this buddy really wants to get in real estate. I wanted to forward him over to you. Do you mind calling him real quick? And this is the guy I admire and I'd be honored to. So I pick up the phone, talk to this individual. He's like, so like getting into it, like what is the fastest way? What's the fastest way to get the deal? So we're going to talk about that right now. So if you are just joining in, we're going to be talking about the fastest way to get your first real estate deal. So here we go. While we're here, I'm also going to put this up. Let's see. I'm going to put this one up. I'm going to be taking questions live. So if you have any questions, do not hold back. Do not hesitate. We're talking about getting your first deal the fastest way, the quickest way. If you have questions about marketing, I have my numbers now here and I have them and I'm going to be sharing them with you of all of my marketing channels, which is my lowest cost per deal and what is the easiest way to get a deal, as well as like what's the most scalable way to get a deal. So we're going to be firing away. If you have questions, do not hold back. I'm ready for you guys to bring on your questions so that we can get going. Looks like Talas, let's go, brother. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for joining me live. This is going to be fantastic. Do not hold back. I'm telling you guys. Mike Buys Houses. Hey, Cody. Mike, I see you, brother. Thank you for being here. Like to go deep and down on marketing. Fantastic. Mohan, as you know, I am here for that. What's up, Cody? Hello, hello. Okay, guys, this is going to be fantastic. Don't hold back. If you have questions, we're going to deep dive this. I want to give so much value during this time so that you don't have to worry about what your next action is going forward. I know we're here at 4th of July, so I know this is already a sacrifice to be here. Some of you could be off right now and it could be going out and doing something, but I will tell you this. I'm going to bring value. I'm going to be helping you guys. William Yamada, how are you? I see you. Excited for you to be here. So I'm taking questions live. Start bringing in your questions and we'll start going at it. But how to get your fastest deal quick. Let's break down some numbers. Let me tell you statistics. Now have taught over 1,000, like we've taught thousands of students, right? Thousands of students have gone through the #1 wholesaling coaching program, okay? We have taught more people how to find deeply discounted off-market properties than any other coaching program out there. And I'm excited to say that that gives us some real-time stats that allows us to continue to add value. Majority of the students that go through the program, majority of the individuals we talk to are like majority of us, period, the end. Meaning many have 9-to-5 jobs. Many individuals have a 9-to-5 job and there's very little time, maybe there's very little money to really focus on something else. So we're going to talk about the fastest way to get a deal because many of you probably sit within that boat. I know that's where I was. I was working a full-time job and I'm a family man. I wasn't single and was able to have a ton of time on my hand. I was a husband, married, and we already had 3 kids at the time when I got into real estate. So I'm a family man. This was something I had to think about. If I was going to get into real estate, what was going to be the way that could turn it into fact really quick, from faith to fact, where I'm not just sitting here like wondering if it's real, but how would I get it to go happen quickly and also not sacrifice the whole world of time, like taking all of my time, which I already had limited. I was working, I would more say like 8 until like 5:30 or 6 every day at the insurance office. and I didn't want to sacrifice everything. Am I willing to sacrifice? Yes. Do I believe sacrifice brings forth the blessings? Yes. But I wasn't willing to take all of this extra time that I had that I needed to spend as a husband and as a father and just throw it into real estate. So how was I able to accomplish it? And why do I believe that still is the best way to get deals right now in this market and the fastest way to get deals in that market? Many of you are sitting in a 9 to 5. Some of you now are probably like you're rocking and rolling, you're going, you're getting deals. And we'll talk about that, how you can still get more deals. But for those that are starting, let's talk right now. I'm talking to you, the ones that are just getting into this. You're just beginning. You're like, Cody, how do I do this? I'm a family man myself, or I don't have much time. Here's what I will tell you. Still to this day, the number one scalable way to do deals is through paid advertising, through paid marketing. Now, here's what we look at. Sometimes we think, oh, but I don't have much money. I'm going to break down even the proactive ways, right? We know of like direct mail is a paid marketing channel. Web, like SEO, PPC is a paid marketing channel. The only true free way is like referrals, but that takes time because you got to build the credibility. You got to get out there. And then you know of like cold calling, the proactive way. Now, here's the interesting thing though, guys. I have to always go back to stats. I always have to go back to stats to make sure that I look at what is my best cost per lead, what's my best cost per close. And I think a lot of you are going to be super surprised to hear what is the winner chicken dinner. So here's what it looks like. When you're getting into real estate, many of you are going to be working a 9 to 5. Time is not on your side. You're already spending plenty of it at work, right? And that's why you're trying to maybe even think of getting into real estate. So what do? Do you spend more of your time to get deals? You can, but that's going to be a strain. I was just talking to Ben, an operation manager that I have on my team. I said, Ben, if you were starting, knowing what you know now, looking at all of our stats, knowing everything, if you were to go break off and do your own thing, how would you get started? And he said this one answer, and it wasn't even like thinking about it. He says, I would be going with direct mail. I said, Ben, why would you go with direct mail? He says, first and foremost, I love my family and I love my wife. And if I'm going to go the proactive approach and have to go like a 9 to 5, plus at the end of the day, pick up the phone and start calling people, although it's a great marketing channel and brings in people, he's like, I know it would sacrifice my relationships. It would hurt my relationships, right? And so that was his biggest concern. And I think that is a big concern for a lot of people. Is they're like, I don't just have unlimited times, right? And they think, well, if we give the time though, because we lack money, I can put it through in time, okay? There is truth to that. So if you lack money and you're thinking cold calling, I'll just proactively pick up the phone and do stuff. Yes, that's something you can do. But here's the issue, the scalability. It's not scalable. You're going to have to at some point hire a team to do that, to scale it. And then you have to manage more people to do that. Here's the number one channel still for us today, direct mail. Why is this beautiful? Because direct mail continues to be something that you just push a button. And instead of saying, hey, I need to talk to 10,000 people, I would rather push a button and have 10,000 mail pieces go out and then wait for that phone to ring. And I can still be playing with my kids. I can still be hanging out with my wife. I can still be tucking my kids at night. And yes, could a phone call come in? Yes. But instead of saying at the end of 6 p.m. when I'm off my job and picking up the phone for 3 or 4 hours, that's going to be tough, right? Is it doable? Yes. Are there sacrifices that you may have to do? Yes. But direct mail, let me break down the numbers now. So this is what I always get excited about. I always have to look at the data. So here's what it was. Direct mail right now for our market. Now remember, as you scale, the cost goes up. So we are a full-fledged operation. We have about 13 people working here in my business. And here's what I'll tell you is, first and foremost, direct mail is about $3,500 and it sways between $3,500 and $3,800 per deal. What does that mean? For every $3,800 spent, I get one contract. Now, our average contract is $23,000. So these are key things when we're talking about this. This is key. You have to know those numbers because you know that you're getting X amount return. You're getting your ROI. When you look at those numbers, you may think, $3,800. Well, here, let's keep breaking down furthermore. When you go to our web is a 6-to-1 right now. 6-to-1, meaning for every dollar spent, $6 is coming back. Is that a huge ROI? Absolutely. People would be willing to invest in web for a 2-to-1 ratio, a 3-to-1 ratio. We're getting a 6-to-1 ratio with our web. Now, here's our cold calling numbers. Our cold calling numbers are this. We do about 5 contacts per hour. Now, of those contacts, some people are saying, no, I'm not interested, or pound sand. To some people, like, maybe I would be interested, right? So we're just saying 5 people that we actually spoke to. It takes about 1 hour per 5 contacts, and it takes about 100 hours per contract. Okay. Now, this is on a scalable cycle. So if it's just you physically doing it, you might be able to get those hours down a little bit, right? But the contacts may not go up any higher because you're still doing the same thing that my team's doing. You might just like work harder each deal or each lead because you might have more time, or you don't want to call new people, so you're going to work each lead harder. But 100 hours per contract. So I want you to think about this. If I wanted to get a deal quickest right now, yes, could you save money by picking up the phone and calling people? Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. But I also would tell you your time's got to be worth something, right? Your time's got to be worth something. And what are you sacrificing to get those hours on the phone when you could physically just push a button and send out direct mail and let the people call you? This is what I love about direct mail. I've heard just at a local real estate investor association, direct mail's dead. I'm like, oh my goodness, keep preaching that so no one directs mails, because I love direct mail. It ends up still being one of our least per contract. Now, is that in every market? No, that's why some markets, I'd actually tell you, cold calling could be better in like California, because you're going to have to send out a little bit more. But I just interviewed Justin Silverio, and he talked about how he's in the Boston market. It's much like the California market. He says, no, Cody, I just know in my head, I got to send out more mail, but I also know that he's doing 6 figures every deal he gets. So yes, his cost per deal might be $15,000, but his deal size on average is 6 figures. So you have to put it into context, right? Direct mail for him still is his lowest cost per deal, which is super, super awesome to know, guys, because here's the thing with mail, you now have all the time to hang out with your kids. You have all the time to still hang out with your spouse or loved ones. And as calls come in, yes, could it pull you away from a conversation? Could it pull you away from a kid's sport event? Yes. But you're going to be always away if it's just cold calling. That's why I always compare these two, right? As long as you're aware of them and picking the right channel, knowing that you're either going to be away 3 to 4 hours a day, right? Or you can just say, hey, I got to take this call, and you take it for 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes, right? And you're just having people call you. Yes, are people telling you pound sand? Yes. Are there people there that can call you, though, that are looking for you and need your help? Absolutely. So those are our numbers. At the end of the day, our cold call cost per deal is $6,000. So what we thought would be our lowest cost per, because we're proactively going to do it, is actually our most expensive year to date at this point. We're $6,000 cost per deal. Direct mail's $3,500 cost per deal. Web is $3,900. Now, all 3 of them, by the way, are still good. We still do them, even though there's a $6,000, a $3,900, and a $3,500 cost per. We still believe that it's the culmination of all 3 of them that makes our business good. But if we did only one and that's it, we wouldn't be squeezing all the juice. We wouldn't be maximizing how many deals we can do on any channel. So if direct mail is only our only marketing channel, although is the best way to start, it's not your end result, because it's going to just squeeze X amount of deals. cold calling pulls in deals that our direct mail doesn't pull in. Web pulls in deals that are cold calling or direct mail. So it's the culmination of all that allows us to do between 10 and 15 deals every single month. So those are our three biggest marketing channels. Direct mail being our lowest cost per deal. And so many times we have this thought thinking it's going to cost us less because all I'm going to do is pick up the phone and I'm not going to have to spend money for me to pick up the phone. It's just my time. But we don't do it that way. We hire a team and it's $20 an hour. And as those hours add up, it ends up being right around $6,000 per deal after you pay your acquisition manager. So we're talking as a full business. When you have acquisition managers that get a commission, you've got cold callers that get an hourly pay. That's what these costs call the Mojo dialer, all that stuff. You're about $6,000 per deal when you have a full team doing it. So by yourself, could you bring that cost down? Yes, I'm positive of that. I'm sure of that. But you're also going to be sacrificing a lot of time because you're going to get about 5 contacts per hour. Direct mail, I just push the button and it's on. It's on like game time. So let me go through some of these questions real quick. I'm in New York currently, but reside in South Carolina. Would I be able to virtually do deals in South Carolina while being in New York right now? Yes, you can. Absolutely, you can do this virtually. So the main thing is just making sure you have the right foundation. By the way, that was Tim. Tim, great question. Yes, you can do it virtually. It's just making sure you have the right foundation. So whether you're doing it local in your backyard or whether you're doing it virtually. Now, here's the two difference, right? I want to tell you the pros and cons of virtual. If I was today, had a gun to my head, someone put a gun to my head and they're like, you better get a deal and you better get it by the end of the day. I have a virtual market, guys. I'm in Dallas, Fort Worth. My virtual market is in Dallas, Fort Worth. And then I have my right here where I live, Salt Lake market. And if someone had a gun to my head and says, Cody, you've got 24 hours to go do a deal, what am I going to pick? I'm going to pick right here in Salt Lake City because I would much rather meet face-to-face. My likelihood of doing a deal goes through the roof if I'm face-to-face with that seller, building rapport, doing much like I'm doing with you guys right now. Like I would be able to build rapport. I'd be able to really listen to their struggles, their problems. I would know the market. I'd be actually able to see the house. I'd actually be able to feel the house. I'd actually be able to see what repairs need to go on versus just, oh, are they telling me the truth or they're not telling me the truth? A lot of virtual deals fall out of contract because either the deal wasn't what they said it was, because they tell us, oh yeah, we have this much done. And then you finally pay for an inspection to go out there and it's like nowhere near, right? And so you put it under contract at too high a price. And so now you've got to cancel it. Can you do deals virtually? Yes. But if someone told me you have 24 hours to do a deal, I am more likely to do a deal right here face-to-face with people than I am virtually. And my deals right here versus virtually are going to be a bigger spread. I'm going to make more money on my in-house deals, like where I live, versus my virtual deals. Now, are both great? Yes, it's a way to expand. That's why we expanded into Dallas, Fort Worth, is because we wanted to expand our model from not just doing in-house in our state. We wanted to take that model because we had a firm foundation. We had the principles, the automation, the systems lined up, and we just took that and we applied it to Dallas, Fort Worth. And yes, we're doing deals, but it's a fraction of the deals that we're doing right here live. So Tim, fantastic question, man. Mohan, love your energy. Thank you, brother. When cold calling, do you make an offer on the initial call? If someone says yes, they want to sell. Dominic, I never do, especially if it's right here in Utah. Sometimes virtually you got to talk over the phone. You got to talk deals over the phone. But if you're talking like we're right here, right now, no. Whether you're cold calling, whether you are direct mail, whether you are doing it through like PPC or web, right? Or Facebook, you're just sending out marketing to have the conversation. But if someone's interested, you're really more focused, Dominic, on the why. Why are they selling the home? And if that's how you notice, like that's the motivation. You want to know why they're selling the home, not for how much or, hey, how much can you pay? That is done face-to-face as much as you can. I am very biased and very, very opinionated on the sense that the more you can go FaceTime with people, the likelihood of you getting that deal goes through the roof. It goes absolutely through the roof. Do we do deals virtually that you can close on the phone? Yes, but not as near as many as the ones that we do in person because you're able to just hear the why. Why are they selling the home? And then you're like, oh man, There's some motivation here. They're behind on their taxes, or they're behind on their mortgage, or they're going through the divorce, or whatever it may be. You book the appointment, you go out there, and now you get to be a friend. Now you get to be the person that they get to see real time and say, gosh, I like this guy, or I like this girl. I want to do business with this person. I trust this person. You get that rapport building a lot better in person than you do by phone. So a lot of people, unless they're really motivated or ready to sell right this second, they're like taking a ton of offers, or they're calling a lot of people, because it's hard to build that rapport. It's hard to build that trust by phone. It's better done in person than it is over the phone. But that's why we continue to do more deals in our in-state market than we do out of state, even though we do deals out of state. So I want to be crystal clear on that. But I never make offers over the phone. If I can meet the person, I'm meeting the person 10 times out of 10, not over the phone, because the likelihood of me getting that deal goes through the roof if they get to meet me in person or my team in person. So awesome question. Joshua, what up? How are you? Are you currently running any SMS campaigns? If so, any KPIs you can share? So yes, let me do this. If Ben's here. Ben, I had a great question here live, and you'll know this answer. Texting campaigns. You said it's tell me my number, or the numbers for the company again. For how many texts out to get a deal? Do we know that? Or what's your breakdown, the best way of saying, hey, text does this?
Oh, so texting right now.
So by the way, this is Ben. Ben, you can come say hi. Come say hi. So we have people with us live right now. They're firing away with their questions. Yeah. The question right now is, are you currently running any SMS campaign? If so, any KPIs you can share?
So we are.
Guys, this is my operation manager. Yeah, this guy knows everything.
Well, we're in the middle of changing it. Can you hear me from back here?
You should be able. Yes, you should.
Okay. So right now we're about 1,000 text messages per appointment attended, and I don't have a good KPI past that.
Okay, so right now, since this is brand new, meaning we're really trying to dial in 1,000 text message per attended. Right? Let me make sure I understand this. Per attended appointment, meaning they're setting appointments. And then sometimes you'll call back and it's like, oh, they're not ready. But right? Or we're talking attended appointments, right?
That's correct.
So attended appointments, meaning 1,000 texts to get an appointment that the acquisition manager actually attended with someone that has motivation or has the likelihood of selling their home. Did I understand that right?
That's correct. And then our close, I don't have a close ratio for texting, but our close ratio in general is about 20-25%.
20-25% close ratio on attended appointments.
Attended appointment. Yep, going into that.
For every 4 appointments our team goes on, we bring in 1 contract. And we're setting a lot of appointments because we have now 3 acquisition managers in Utah, and we have 1 or 2 in Dallas.
Just 1.
1 in Dallas, right? So 1 in our Dallas Fort Worth virtual market, and then we have 3 here in Utah. So it's not about just like, hey, we're only going on just like high motivated appointments. It's anyone that has any kind of degree of motivation, we're setting the appointment. So that's why you'll see a little bit lower. Some people may have like, oh, I have a 60%. Well, it could be that they're a solopreneur and they're only going on the appointments that they know are motivated. And yes, your likelihood of closing those are gonna grow. But when you have 3 people, it's their jobs to just get out on appointments, get their face in front of people, talk to people, and it ends up being about 1 out of every 4 appointments we're on. So for every 4,000 texts, then I can kind of put this statistically together. That's going to give you 4 appointments. So per 4,000, and I'll bring this back when we have actual reality. But if we're just going off those numbers, every 4,000 texts should bring us 1 close. Is that right?
Yep, that's right.
Okay. Ben, thank you so much, man.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, guys, so let's rock and roll and let's keep firing away. Hopefully those KPIs are really, really helping you guys. What's your most effective marketing strategy? Our number 1 most effective is, because we're always dialing in. A lot of times, let's go through this. So it's our lowest cost per. If you're looking at that, I'd say the 2 I love, it's still the paid for marketing versus the proactive approach. Here's what I mean by that. Direct mail and web still outperform any other marketing channel we have. We'll always outperform since of day 1 through now. We've been doing all these channels for like over 3 years. direct mail and web continue to be our lowest cost per deal when it comes to marketing. So I'd say direct mail and web. What is web? Think of web like if you're looking at this W, right? If the three fingers make a W, think of it as there's 3 points to web: PPC, SEO, and Facebook. So when all three of those are simultaneously working with each other, that's what we call web. So we're not just saying PPC, we're not just saying SEO, we're not just saying Facebook. We're saying if you're doing web, it means you're doing all three of those. And when all three of those are in sync, which by the way, I have a guy that does mine, manages mine for both here and in Dallas that gives us a 6-to-1 return on our money. If you want to learn more about that, DM me, PM me. I will be glad to line you up with that individual because he's a killer when it comes to just web. Yes, do you have to have investment to put into it? His management fee plus the ad spend? Yes. But are we looking for ways that we can also be effective with our time? You don't have to go out there and proactively do it. It's doing it for you. All you got to do is turn it on and the ROI comes back. Period. The end, guys. That's the most beautiful part about paid marketing versus proactive marketing. Yes, proactive marketing can work when you're a solopreneur and you can get your costs low, but the scalability, you just can't do it. At some point, you're going to get burned out. You don't want to pick up the phone all day long, 8 hours a day. That's going to burn out anyone. And it's also our biggest turnover for people that we have to hire is cold callers, because you can only do it for so long before they're like, I can't do this anymore. Then we got to find a new cold caller. And then you got to find a new cold caller. And then you got to find a new cold caller. So that's the one thing I love about paid marketing versus proactive marketing is I just got to push a button. Yes, it costs money, but at the end of the day, it's not. It's our lowest cost per deal. So that's the key thing here. Are you using text blasting? No, so they're one-offs. So they're one-offs for the text. Great question, Frederick. William Yamada, can I get started with $200 a month in marketing for 6 months? So good question. Here's the thing. That's going to be tight on any marketing channel, no matter what marketing channel you went with. Let's say you said, hey, I want to do direct mail, or hey, I want to do web. Web would be probably the upfront, the most expensive to get into. But once it's turned on, it's your biggest ROI, meaning a 6-to-1 is crazy incredible, like awesome stuff. Our biggest deals come from web. So even though it's like $400 cost per deal more than direct mail, it also has our biggest average assignment. So that's something to keep in mind when you're talking about web in general. But it costs a lot up front to turn it on. So with a $200 a month, web would probably be out of the way. Direct mail, you could do it, but remember, direct mail, you're going to be about 30, let's call it 38 cents per postcard that's going out. So if you want to just do your $200 divided by your 0.38, that's how many mail pieces you're sending out. That's a very, very tight budget for direct mail. Cold calling, you're going to have to just do it right from your cell phone because Mojo Dialer, I think I can't remember what it is, $150 a month or something like that. So that already ate up your monthly budget. You could drive for dollars, but again, a lot of people think, oh, this is the free way of doing it. It's not free. You still have to put gas in your car to drive for dollars. Or if you're going to really make this a system, you could definitely use the Deal Machine app. And if you're doing the Deal Machine app, in fact, let me do this, man. Let me help you guys out so you can really see this. Let's do this. Deal Machine. Okay. Deal Machine. I'm going to put it up so you guys can see it. All right, here we go. So with Deal Machine, if you do use Deal Machine, if you use that, it's $39 a month. So it's the #1 discount out there. So if you use that promo code, you'll get $10 off their app every month, but you're still going to be paying, William, that's a great question, is you're still going to be paying about $39 for that app. And that's, if you're going to drive for dollars, that's the most effective way of doing it. Otherwise, you're going to have to physically take like paper and you're going to have to write down the address. And then you're going to have to go back home and you're going to have to look up every single address by the county assessor or something like that. And that goes back into that like time suck, that time drain. Yes, can you put forth that sacrifice? Yes, but I just feel like the sacrifice, if you're married or if you're a father or if you're a husband, I feel like the strain and drain on your relationships is going to be tough. Like it's going to be tough. So yes, maybe that's an option, but I love them. I love it. I love Deal Machine, by the way. We use it. That's why we have this set up for every one of my people, right, that are watching. We do it. We do all these. We do Driving for Dollar. But I'm always looking for the way, like, how do we become a believer quick? How do we get the fastest way to do our first deal? It's direct mail. It's direct mail. And the best part about it, you can do it. You can push a button and still go to your 9 to 5 while phone calls are coming in. And you can always just go listen to all the voicemails and you just say, oh, perfect. That's the one I'm going to call first. Perfect. That's the one I'm going to call second. That's the one I'm going to call third. And you just start going through the line, right? You're going to have people that call you up, take me off your list. Don't waste your time and call them back. They wanted you to take them off the list, right? So you're calling only the motivated people that call you. That's the best part, guys, is you push the button. You can still go to your 9 to 5. And then your direct mail's going out there doing all the heavy lifting for you. People are calling back. Some are going to be no's, some are going to be yeses, and some are going to be like, please call me back. I need to sell quick. I love to know that I can use my time like, oh my gosh, I need to get on this one right now because they need my help right now. I would much rather do that than waste 4 hours trying to cold for 5 contacts per hour. That's our real-time stat right now, 100 hours per contract. I know for me, 100 hours for me means a lot more spending it with my kids and with my wife than it does dialing for dollars. Anyways, that's my thoughts on that. William, great question. If you're able to maybe jump that up a little bit, I have a good friend in here, Chet Miles. Don't need a deal. Just wanted to see your beautiful face. Chet, you're the man. I miss our good old times from the first neighborhood that we owned homes in together. And we would go hunting like crazy together. Miss you, Chet. Good seeing you. Ashes. Hello, Cody. How are you? Hello. Manuel, what is the minimum budget a month you need to start doing direct mail? Manuel, that's a great question. You can start with any budget. So let me get crystal clear on this. You can start with any budget. It just means it just depends on how fast to do a deal. Let me break this down now a little bit more. If you watch, let's say, I'm just going to call it out like basketball. The people that make the most 3-pointers are also the ones that shoot the most shots, right? The ones that have the most 3-pointers, Steph Curry, he comes to mind, right? Or James Harden, he comes to mind. The reason why they make the most 3-pointers is because they take the most shots. So does that mean the people that only shoot 1 or 2 a game will never make a shot? No, they will. They're just going to make less than the people that take a lot of shots. So the same thing here with this concept. What kind of budget? I would tell you, you don't need any more than 2,000 mailers a week, okay? You don't need any more than 2,000, especially if you're a solopreneur, meaning you're wearing all the hats. You don't need any more than 2,000 mailers a week because your phone's going to be blowing up. Like it's going to be melting because there's going to be a lot of calls coming in. In my actual course, in fact, right now at this moment, because of 4th of July, I am actually doing $500 off my course that shows you kind of step by step how to do all this and how to do it on a low budget, medium budget, high budget, but on a high end. And the link, by the way, is depending if you're on YouTube or Facebook, there's a link here where you can click on so you can learn more about that, but how you can get $500 off. That's going all the way through July 4th. But what I would tell you is you can do it on any budget. It just depends on the budget is what allows the speed to happen. So if you're sending out 2,000 mailers a week, you can get a deal really, really quick. You can get a deal super quick. Yes, does it cost some money to do that? Yes, but I'm just opening it up to the budget. You wouldn't need any more than 2,000 mailers a week, but it's all about consistent marketing going out every week, not once a month or once every 2 weeks or once every 2 months, but marketing going out every single week. And Direct mail, you just push the button like with your mail house, send it out, right? If you are looking for a mail house, let's do this. I'll put this on here real quick. I can give you access to tribe pricing. So you'd get all my pricing on all of this. .com/ref. Let's do that. Okay, so let me put this up there so you can see it. If you're going to be getting into direct mail, there's no cheaper way than doing it right here. If you're looking for skip tracing numbers so that you can cold call people, it's within this portal. So this is a portal, openlettermarketing.com/ref. REF stands for Real Estate Freedom Formula, right? That's our coaching program that leads people to get out there and find deeply discounted off-market deals so that they can make a fortune in real estate. So that is for every one of you watching this. Don't hesitate to use it. If you want the best pricing on direct mail, if you want the best pricing on CRM, the best pricing on skip tracing, it's all within that same portal. That is my personal portal that I had them custom make for my people, my community, my tribe. So that's for you guys. Openlettermarketing.com/ref. So what you're going to be doing is you will, if you can send out 2,000 a week, awesome. You're well on your way, like Steph Curry, to make a lot of shots, right? If all you had is able to send out 500 a week, yes, you can still do a deal. Yes, you can shoot 1 shot or 2 shots or 3 shots a game and still make one, right? But the person that shoots 15 is just going to make more. So comparison is if you send out 500 pieces a week, can you still do a deal? Yes. It just may take a little bit longer. So as long as you have that mindset that I'm just going to push through this, I'm going to do this. But the beautiful thing is you can still maintain quality relationships with your loved ones, with your kids, with your spouse, with your friends. You can still maintain because you don't have to use work time plus more time to go find a deal. Let the direct mail do all the heavy lifting for you. And the numbers are still our best numbers. And I've been doing this since May of 2015. It maintains the lowest cost per deal every single year. It doesn't mean that all the other marketing channels are not valid. I do all of them because that's how we squeeze more deals out of the market. You can't just rest on any one marketing channel. But for anyone looking to get consistent and to do their first deal the quickest way, direct mail. Because a lot of us are busy individuals. If you're just barely getting started, you probably are working a full-time job. So it's crucial that you use your time wisely. And I'd say, man, let something else do the heavy lifting for you so that you can still enjoy your relationships, right? And maintain those relationships so that you don't lose those relationships in the sake of trying to get your first deal in real estate. Who is the best for direct mail campaigns? Justin Morgan, how are you doing, my friend? It is such a good way to see you. This guy is one of the guys that I look up to in many ways. This guy's an incredible individual, incredible investor right here local. But man, your story is inspiring many ways that I've been watching you. He has a thing always called Book of Morgan, where he just has all these experiences. If you want to see a guy that lives his life at his fullest, follow Justin Morgan. He's a good guy that's a great investor, but what's awesome is what we're talking about, this resonates, is he's a quality dad, he's a quality husband, and time means a lot to him. And so he's doing all the paid channels too, so he can spend more time with the ones he loves. Good to see you, Justin. And I would say for the direct mail campaigns, if you go into that openlettermarketing.com/REFF so that you can go right to my portal, Justin, believe it or not, his name's Justin too. Justin Silverio. He is an actual investor in the Boston market. Earlier in this video, I was talking about how a guy in Boston, he just has to send out more mail, but he's doing 6 figures per deal, right? So it works. No matter where you're at, it works. I'd say if you're in Jackson, Mississippi, your cost per deal is going to go even lower. Now it might be that the deals are a little bit smaller too, but it doesn't matter. It's all relative no matter where you live. If you're in California, yes, it may be 10 grand instead of 3,500, but you're going to make 50, 60, 70, 80, or 6 figures on each deal. So you got to put it in comparison. But I would use open letter marketing, and I'd go through my portal. So you get my custom pricing. You get my pricing that I've negotiated all the way low on every one of his services. His CRM is phenomenal. His skip tracing's as low as 11 cents per skip trace, all within, and I'll just put this up for you one more time, Justin. If you go to openlettermarketing.com/REFF, again, REFF stands for Real Estate Freedom Formula. So thank you for the question, and good to see you, man. You're an incredible individual. Let's see. Okay, so minimum budget, again, just if you can, whatever you can put out is still marketing and still getting you one step closer to your first deal or your next deal. But if you can do 2,000 mailers a week, get ready. You're taking a lot of shots, and those shots are going to start sinking. Fast people search helps a lot for beginners. Fast people search helps a lot for beginners. Fast people search. That might be, I don't know exactly what that's saying. Mohammed, you're more than welcome to go a little bit more. I don't know exactly what that is. Let's see. There's another program called Land Glide that you can download and get a free 10-day trial. It works pretty cool. It doesn't spend the mail for you, but with drop spins in your location showed you the property. Cool. Gabriel, hi Cody. I'm in competitive market, Chicago. What do you think is the least I should spend on mail per month? Thank you for your time. I would say the minimum, again, 2,000 mailers a week. If you can do that, I would be doing it. I'm in Salt Lake, super competitive. Dallas, Fort Worth, I chose because it's a competitive market. We're still crushing it. That's why I would tell you 2,000 mailers a week minimum, and then start getting the data to tell you where to expand or how to hone in. But here's the beautiful thing. If you go to this openlettermarketing.com/ref, there's 2 tutorial videos that Justin did for my people. So if you go up there and you get inside that portal, you'll see these tutorials. He'll break it down. But here's the beautiful thing. Because he's an investor and owns a mail house, he has some killer sequences, software that when you upload, let's say your tax delinquent list, when you upload your code violation list, when you upload your equity list, when you upload whatever list you upload, it automatically starts stacking, meaning, oh, this leads on 4 of your list, or this leads on 3 lists, or this leads only on 1 list. So what you can do is start to get creative and spend less money on the ones that are only on 1 list and spend more money on the ones that are on 2, 3, or 4 of your lists. That's where it gets creative, and that's where it gets really good. And this marketing right here, openlettermarketing.com, has software that can do that all for you, which is super killer. The other thing I love about him, if you use him for your direct mail, which we do, you're not only getting your best pricing, but also when you upload your CVS file, it will go through and run it for free. For free, guys. It will run it for free through the USPS Postal Service, and it will take out all of the undeliverables. It'll remove all of the duplicates. And you can choose to not if you don't want to. You can have them stay in there. But if you want, for a free service, it will run your whole list against the USPS and remove all your undeliverables. So you're not having that extra spend that you don't need to have. And then you can actually buy that list, skip trace it, and call them, because there's not many people going the extra step to do that, right? So that's a killer thing too. But don't worry about competitive markets. This has nothing to do with competition. It has to do with consistency. So if you're in a competitive market, then the key thing is be consistent. Send out 2,000 mailers every single week, and you're going to be more consistent than 97% of any market, of any competition. And he who stays, or she who stays consistent, beats the competition. That's my secret there. Let's see. Let's make sure let's see. Where was I? Okay. How will cost to send 2,000 mailers per week? Our cost on some of that as low as 34 cents, depending on how bulk you send, all the way up to about 38 cents. Mohan, that's a great question. Money Tone, where can I find people that want to sell their land lots, preferably in upcoming areas, people that are independent that aren't using an agent? I always work with distress list first. So distress lists are my main thing here. I would make sure that I am looking for like your tax delinquent list, your probate, your evictions, your notice of defaults, your divorce lists. I'd be looking for all the distress lists so that you can find people in those zip codes or the areas that you're specifically looking for on a distress list versus a high equity list. High equity is still a great way to find deals, but it's your lower quality of the leads. Your higher quality leads are the ones that are on distress lists because that already shows that there could be some motivation there. You just got to now find if they have equity. Two things that you want to look for, guys, when you're doing deals. The two things that make a deal is equity. And the second one is, so first thing is equity. The second is motivation. If those things are, both of those are in place, you're on track for an amazing deal. That's a great opportunity to sit in front of you. So I like working, if I'm going to work the leads, what one am I going to work for first? Because remember, it takes equity and motivation. I like working with motivation versus equity. I like to know that there's motivation and then find out if there's equity versus know that there's equity and find out if there's motivation. So the distress list give us the motivation. Now we just got to get in contact with them to see if there's equity. Great question. What list do you hit on direct mail? Direct mail gets all of our distress for sure. Probate, eviction, notice of default, and divorce. Those are hit daily, guys. So depending if you can do it daily, some markets you can get that list either online or from your county or from your city or township or municipality. You can actually pull those lists daily. And if you can, send them daily because that means you're the first ones on them. And so I always think of it as the word penned. P-E-N-D, penned. That's the acronym for probate, eviction, notice of default, divorce. Penned. Those are fantastic. And then tax delinquent, fantastic. Code violations, hit and miss. But tax delinquent consistently brings us in deals. Inheritance, it's much like probate, but they are two separate things. These are all great lists that are like distress lists. And I'd be mailing to those like today if you can get your hands on them. Let's see. Here we go. Thanks for the advice, brother. Pure gold. Terrence, thank you for the kind words. I always appreciate to know if things are adding value and that it is something you can like, oh man, grasp concept and like take action on and go do. So thank you for the kind words. That also lets me know that I'm not just jabbing around or I'm saying it something in a way that doesn't make sense. So thank you for letting me know that how I'm delivering it makes sense and you're able to get out there and use that pure gold, right? So thank you so much. All right, let's go to our next one. Do you know if there are any wholesaling in Tampa, Florida? Yes, you can definitely do. I do know wholesalers, if that's what you're asking. Wholesalers in Tampa, Florida. Yes, I know. I have students in Tampa, Florida, and Tampa, Florida is a great market to find off-market properties. So guys, let me make sure I'm clear on this. When I say off-market properties that you can find for like 40, 50, 60 cents on the dollar. And Tampa, yeah. But I'd say this for many of the markets out there, if not all the markets, because it's not about real estate. It's about helping individuals that are motivated and need help. And it's all about serving them. It's going out there and being a problem solver. And if you're a great problem solver, the byproduct is you get a contract that allows you to purchase their home at a deep discount. I always talk about for 3 things that are in place when it comes to a deal. Write this down because it will remain true. And you'll see this in every deal you've done is to have a deal, you need speed, negotiation. All negotiation begins with speed, convenience, and price. Now, let me break that down. Speed, because let's say someone says, oh my gosh, I called your postcard that says you'll buy my house cash. I'm calling you because I need to be gone in 7 days. Woo! As an investor, we can close in like 2 days, 3 days, right? My title company can close super quick and I have cash buyers ready for my deals. We can close super quick, right? So we're able to deliver speed. That's the first part. The second one is convenience. I talk to individuals or my team goes on appointments and like, we just don't have the money to fix up this home. I just don't know how we're going to do it. Me and my siblings, we don't have the money. We inherited this home from my mom and dad who passed away, but we don't have the money to fix it up. Okay, well, what if we could buy it as is? And they're like, oh my gosh, we would love if you could buy it as is. So you're telling me you don't need to have an inspection? No, we don't need to have an inspection. We'll buy it as is. So you gave them speed because you can close quick. You gave them convenience because they don't need to clean it out or fix it up. We're willing to buy it as is. But in return, we want the price. If we're willing to give you speed and convenience, all we're asking for is, can we get our price on this? So that's the whole thing when it comes to negotiation. Write that down. Speed, convenience, and price. We give them speed and convenience. They give us our price. And that's the huge reason why people love investors and need good individuals that are problem solvers so that they can get their speed and convenience and be on to plan B, right? Great question. And yes, you can do deals in Tampa, Florida. We have some students in Tampa, Florida that they love that market. It's a fantastic market. Which list do you recommend for a direct mail campaign? We went over that, the Pend. What are the best lists to use? Again, by the way, this video will exist on our YouTube, Facebook. It's out there, so you'll be able to watch this again. But again, think of it as just Pend. Those are great 4 lists that if you can get your hands on, and then add tax delinquent. So probate, eviction, notice of default, divorce, and tax delinquent. Those are fantastic lists to get going. All right, let's see. Jonathan Barfield, Go Giver. Jonathan, thank you so much. In fact, he sent me a personal message on Facebook. I want to let you know, thank you. I got your message, and you're amazing. Keep going. You've got this, brother. Okay, let's see. So every week, should we be mailing the same list? If so, how many times or how long should we send that same list? Fantastic question, Mario. Here's how you do it. So let's say if you have, I like a cycle on, let's call it 8 weeks. Okay. So every 2 months, let's say you have a list of 16,000 people on the list. I would make sure that I send out 2,000 pieces every single week, right? And when you have a team and you scale, we're now up to like about 7,500 pieces every single week that go out. But if your list is 16,000, you don't want to send them all at once. What you'll do is you'll break it up over 8 weeks. So that means you're sending 2,000 pieces a week for 8 weeks. At the end of 8 weeks, it starts over again. The person that received it on week 1 will receive it on week 9. The person that received it on week 2 will receive it on week 10. So it just repeats. So you break that 16,000 divided by 8. So you're sending out 2,000 mailers every single week, and then put it on repeat. Depending on the list, but most lists, you just kind of just keep going, because you just never know. Things change. You got to remember within the investing world, the way we do deals is because we're doing follow-up. Let me tell you this, every 10 deals, it doesn't matter when I look at it, of my last 10 deals or 10 deals from March or 10 deals from December. If I looked at 10 deals, 7 out of every 10 are going to be from follow-up. So 3 are going to be on the spot or darn near on the spot, like first contact or within a couple days, it's going under contract. 7 out of every 10 are from long-term follow-up. So if you're not doing follow-up, you're missing out on 70% of the deals that are happening in your market. Now, why do I share this with you, Mario? Because it's all about keeping the direct mail going, and just make sure that you're just spreading it out. You don't want them to be hit every 4 weeks or every 5 weeks or every 3 weeks or every 6 weeks or even 7 weeks. But if they're every 8 weeks, they're getting your message put in front of them every 8 weeks. At some point, there could be a change that takes place in their life. And our business is based off of change, meaning when something changes in their life and they need help, the first thing they can think of is, oh my gosh, I remember Cody Hoffine. He's been sending me for the last 6 months. He's been sending me a postcard. I'm going to reach out to him. He seems like he's a guy that really knows what he's doing. And he sent me a lot of mail throughout this time. And I just remember that. So it's all about being there and getting that mail piece in front of them when change takes place. That's why I always say like an 8-week cycle, because usually it takes about 6 to 8 weeks for big changes to take place in people's lives. And so it's he or she who has the marketing piece in front of them at the time when change takes place. So that's why I like 8 to 10 week cycles is what I like. Great question, Mario. Fantastic question. Zane Rogers, gold. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that. Let's see. There it is. Okay. Quick question. 2,000 a week mailing the same list 4 to 6 weeks, then start a new list, or 2,000 a week to new people every week. It depends. Like, again, if it's going to be distress list, like we talked about, just keep it on an 8-week cycle. And yeah, you can keep it on repeat. A no today doesn't mean a yes tomorrow. I want you to think about this. things shifted really quick back in March when COVID-19 hit. Things shifted really quick. A lot of change came to place, meaning individuals lost their jobs overnight, where they no longer had a job. Well, in January, they might have been like, nope, everything's fine. I don't plan on selling my house. And then March hit, and now they're thinking, I got to start thinking of what to do. I got to start thinking. A big change took place. And so I want you to think about that. That's the reality, is a lot of change is happening right now, and they need good people. It's not people that are out there taking advantage of people. It's people that genuinely serve people. I want you to, here's the story analogy I use. If my mom and dad came to me and told me they just lost their job, I would never, ever say, okay, well, mom and dad, how many beds and bathrooms again does your home have? Because so many times when we get the phone call, let's say someone calls us from our direct mail and they're like, I just lost my job. Naturally, you're like, okay, well, they're already calling me because they know I'd want to buy their home for cash. So I'm just going to start talking about their home. That's not the case. If your mom and dad did that, you'd never say, well, mom and dad, how many beds and baths was it again? How many square feet was it again? No, you'd be sympathetic. You'd be empathetic. You'd be there and you'd say, Mom, I didn't know this. How long have you not had a job? Oh my gosh, what's the first thing I can do to help you? Do you need help with groceries? Are you having a hard time putting food on the table? How can I help? That's the exact approach you would need to have when you're in this business. When someone calls you and says that, you would never say, well, hopefully you never would say, or you're not going to get many deals. How many beds and baths do you have? You'd never do that. You'd be, oh my gosh. So what would be of service to you? What do you need help with? And you would listen. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use it proportionately. Listen more than you talk. Just ask questions. How can I help you? How can I be of service? What's going to be the best way to help you at this time? And just listen. Just listen. And when they tell you, oh my gosh, I don't have money to fix up my house, but I got to sell quick. So you're telling me if we were able to buy it like as is, if we were able to do that where you don't have to fix it up, that would be of help? Okay. But what about plan B? Where are you going? Do you need help moving? Just last week, my business partner, Mark, he doesn't even go on many appointments, but it's our culture, it's our company, it's our mission to help people, regardless if they use us or not. We did a deal in a city called Tooele, and Mark, one of the business owners, my business partner, ended up going on that appointment. And we rarely go on the appointments. It's usually just our acquisition managers. He goes on the appointment, gets the contract, and the guy's like, oh man, we just have to get the moving going and we don't even know where to find boxes. Well, Mark's mom had just recently moved. And so he ended up saying, oh my gosh, I got like 100 boxes that my mom would be more than happy to donate to you. Can I bring them back out? So Mark drove an hour and a half back home, grabbed a whole truckload of boxes and drove them all the way back out so that we can further. It's not about the contract. It's, are you still going to serve them after you get the contract? We do, because it's not about the contract. The contract's the byproduct of just genuinely serving people before the appointment, on the appointment, and all through the whole process after the appointment. If you can do that, you're going to do good in this business. Because people are craving for great individuals. People are craving to do business with people they can trust, love, like, admire, and not shisty people. And so be the person that's out there that really genuinely loves people, genuinely wants to serve people, genuinely wants to help them regardless if you get the contract or not. That's what we do here. Regardless, if they tell us, it's not going to work to sell at a discount. Okay, let's still sit here and let's figure out what a good option is for you. And we help them through the process. Regardless if we're the answer or not. You become that individual, you're going to do a lot more deals than your competition because your competition's not doing that. So keep that in mind. Let's see. Thank you so much. We'll follow your advice. I used your daily goal template and made my vision board. Game changers. Gabriella, thank you so much. That means the world to me to hear because, for example, just the vision board and stuff. I mean, I share this all the time. If you don't know what you want to accomplish in life and you don't know what you want to do, it's much like Alice in Wonderland, right? Alice in Wonderland, Alice came to a fork in the road and she's sitting there and the Cheshire Cat shows and the Cheshire Cat comes up and says, she asked Cheshire Cat, which way should I go? And the Cheshire Cat says, It depends on where you want to go. And she says, well, I don't know where I want to go. And he says, well, then it doesn't matter which way you take, right? That's how many entrepreneurs run their business. They're just like kind of go with the flow. The vision board maps out what you want to accomplish in life so that when you have a fork in the road, you can now say, okay, does this road take me to where I want to go, or does this road take me to where I want to go? This road doesn't, pass on it and go down the road that takes you closer. But if you're like, I don't know what I want in life, well, then you're just going to hopefully get on the right path. But the chances are you also could have a great chance of not getting on the right path. And that's why most entrepreneurs don't launch or ever succeed, because they never know what they want for themselves. And so they keep hopping on the wrong paths and they think, oh, this is not meant for me. Oh my gosh, it's not meant in my cards to be in real estate. No, more likely it was you didn't have a plan. You didn't know where you wanted to get to, so that you could have crystal clear focus to only stay on the path that gets you there and say no to all the other things that will distract you. So great. Gabriella, thank you so much for sharing that, because the goal template is phenomenal. And I love that you did the vision board. That is going to serve you well. And you're already 90% ahead of I should say you're already ahead of 90% of the people out there by having that vision board and by having your goals laid out. Great job. I appreciate you sharing that. Mohan, what's the timeline on tax delinquents we should look for? I always look for past 2 years. So at least 2 years old. Usually if someone's 1 year behind, they're just like, yeah, I get it. I'm going to pay it. And it's not that much. Usually just like a few $100. And it's like, you can make that up. But I look for 2 years or older. In Utah, it goes all the way to 5 years before it goes to auction. So from 2 to 5 years, fantastic lead for us. Best source to get distressed list. Your best source is always your free sources. So anything you can get from your county, city, townships, municipalities, wherever you live. The free source is always your best, so you can save on the money. Courthouses, those are your best ways of doing that. Probate can be a courthouse. Eviction could be a courthouse. Some cities and states are online, so it makes it even easier. Tax delinquent, your county has that list. So yes, the free ways are the best ways. And then there are people that are list providers that you can pay for that. There's just that extra cost. Such great value here. Appreciate your passion for people as well as Disney. Oh my gosh. I freaking love Disney. Guys, if you can see up here, I got Walt and Mickey. They're over here. And then I got the 7 dwarfs down here. I'm a Disney fan like crazy, right? So here's the funny thing. I think I probably brought this on. This was our first year that we bought season passes to Disney for my wife and my kids. And my mom and dad actually ended up doing it with us. And this is the year we're like, we're going to go like 6 times. It's going to be incredible. And then this pandemic hit and we're like, like had we done it last year, we would have gone a full year with none of this. We would have got our Disney fix. But that's awesome that you're actually recognizing some of the fun stuff behind me. Walt was just an inspiring man. I find a lot of value from some of the things he did, just for someone to dream so big and then create such a magical space. I think is just inspiring. So that's awesome. Do you know any wholesalers in New Mexico? I do. Peter Torrance is one in New Mexico that comes offhand, that's gone through my tribe, gone through the program, and is just taking names, doing really, really well down there. So that is, or it might be David Torrance. I don't know why that just slipped my head, but yes, he is down there and he's doing well. Guys, while we're here real quick, just a 2-second thing right now for 4th of July, if you book or apply, I should say, apply for my coaching program. I am doing $500 off, and that $500 goes a long way for a marketing budget when we're talking marketing. So if you apply now, between now and midnight of July 4th, which is tomorrow night, if you apply before then, even though we may not have a call till the next week, you'll get an additional $500 off right now, which is killer, because you could use that money to use that for marketing. So that was something I wanted to do special for the 4th of July. So if you're looking to get in the game, now's the time to get in the game, and you'll get $500 off that you can put towards marketing. Okay, let's go over here again. Let's see. What's the best way to learn how to negotiate with sellers? Tasha, great question. We're always a student. Always. Every week we train our acquisition managers. We buy new training programs all the time. We're always investing in our team and in ourselves. We're always investing in our education. There's a quote that I love that comes from right here, Jim Rohn, and it's Leading an Inspired Life. And he has a phenomenal quote in there. It says, rarely does your income exceed your personal development. Think about that. Rarely does your income exceed your personal development. What does this mean? It means this, that if you want to be a millionaire, you must work on yourself first. Build you up personally. Like, get that personal development going, because if you can work on yourself first, the income will follow. And he's saying rarely is a millionaire down here with his mindset. Like, rarely does someone's income exceed their personal development. It's always the opposite. You must develop yourself and your income will follow. So that's something I've always learned. So we're learning from a book called Never Split the Difference from Chris Voss. We're also students of his program that's called I think it's called the Black Swan Group. And every week we're doing a training with our team to get better. We talked about mirroring. We talked about labeling. We talked about like time deadlines. We talked about how to negotiate. Phenomenal book. Be a student of that book and you'll see a lot of negotiation. So hopefully that helps. So that's a phenomenal book. Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. I just locked up a contract in Odessa, Florida, which is close by Tampa, Florida, completely virtual. I'm in a different state. Fantastic. If you need help moving that, don't hesitate to DM me or personal message me on Facebook or Instagram. You can just find me at Cody Hoffine. And by doing that, I might be able to line you up with a student in Tampa, Florida that has a cash buyers list that could definitely help you. And I'd be honored to do that. AJ, how do you explain a short sell in layman's terms to a distressed seller? A short sell is difficult, right? A short sell is where the bank has to approve it. So it's not a foreclosure or a foreclosed on, sometimes it doesn't require like a full bankruptcy either. A short sell is basically where, let's say you owe $150,000 on your home and the bank knows they're going to lose money, but you have to get it approved by them. But let's say you have a seller that says, hey, I have a seller that's willing to pay for 120, but let's say they're behind on their mortgage. They haven't paid their mortgage in 6, 7, 8 months. And the bank's like, oh my gosh, this guy's not paying us. So he calls the bank, says, hey, I have a guy that's willing to pay 120 for our house. And the bank says, we'll take it. We'll take it. That's a short sell. What price range and kind of area would you recommend targeting for 20K to 50K spreads? Those are big spreads. So I wouldn't do it where the ARV is anything less than probably, I'd say 250 to 300,000. ARV stands for after repair value. You're not going to see spreads like that on anything really under that. If homes are, when they're all fixed up, worth $70,000, you wouldn't even make that if you got the home for free. So that's a good question, but you're probably going to be in the after repair value, meaning once the home's already fixed up and looks nice, you're probably not going to see profits like that until you get to like at least $250,000. For when you get to that upper end of the 50K, you might make 20K on ARV of 250 and you're getting it for like 120 or something, or 130 or 140, right? And you might get there. But obviously the bigger, like if you can get to 300,000, you can make between the 20 and 50. But that's why when like Justin, my good friend in Boston with Open Letter Marketing, he does 6 figures, but it's because some of the homes are like $750,000 or over $1 million. And so he's able to get 6 figures on each one of his deals, which is huge. So obviously the higher the after repair value, the more you can make. But I'd say you could still make 20 grand on an ARV of 200,000. I'm just saying on that upper end of 50K, you got to be over the $250,000 mark, over the 300K mark. That was a golden nugget. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that info. Mario, you're very welcome. Thank you so much. Let's see. Let's take a couple more, guys. And then I want you to actually take action. That's my goal here. My goal is not to absorb you all night and have you in like learning mode all night. I'd rather you just learn a little bit and get out there and take action and do a deal. And that would excite me and let me know I did exactly what I was supposed to do tonight. Do you track how many postcards equal a deal? If so, mind sharing. Great question. I would say you're about a response rate. So you're going to have to reverse engineer a few things. If your response rate on average, let's just say national average is 1%. For every 10,000 postcards, that means you're going to get 100 people calling back. Okay. Of the 100 people, I'd say about 50 to 60 of them are going to be like pound sand, take me off your list, never do this again. Great. But that leads another 50 that are leads. Of those 50 leads, I'd say you're going to be about 2 to 5 that you can close that are ready to go right now. The rest are going to be pipeline, meaning, yes, they may not be ready right now, but in the near future or in the future time, or yeah, I'd be open to it at some point. They're pipeline, meaning now you just put them in your system, your CRM, your customer relationship management system, where you're doing follow-up with them until the time is right. But I'd say to get some like on the spot, like out of 100 contacts from 10,000 mailers, you'll close anywhere from, let's just go 1 to 5, depending on 5, meaning you're really good at negotiating. You know what you're doing. You've got the resources, but you also got the even like some of the authority behind it, where now we have, gosh, we're the number 1 in Utah when it comes for like testimonials, people that we've purchased their home and they leave an incredible video testimonial saying how we fulfilled what they needed and we're able to serve them at a high level. And so we're able to use that. Like, hey guys, we buy a lot of homes here in Utah and a lot of people love us. In fact, here's this. And they go to the website and they're like 85 testimonials. This is phenomenal. Not many people can say that about their business, and people that have been there longer than us, people that have been doing it for the early 2000s don't even have that. So it's always good to get testimonials because that helps in your favor when you need it to say like, hey, here's a lot of great people that we've worked with in the past that really have loved our services. And then they're like, oh man, these guys know what they're doing, right? So over time, it just gets better. So you may get 1 or 2 right out, but then over time, as long as you're working the testimonials and getting them to get like a review video, you can build that up by being the authority, which is super, super cool. All right. Serve people before, during, after the contract. Love it. Austin, thank you so much. And that is so true. Are RVMs still good for your company? Ringless voicemails or RVMs. I think they're a good follow-up tool, but I don't like them for initiation of trying to get leads. I like them as a good follow-up tool, meaning I have, like, for example, perfect time. Let's say for the last year, you've had a pipeline of people that are leads and they haven't closed. And then you had the pandemic hit in March. A lot of change took place. Now would be a phenomenal time to do a RVM, like a ringless voicemail saying, hey, we spoke in the past and it may or may not have been the right time to sell your home. Just checking in with you to see if you're interested in selling your home. That's how I would use a ringless voicemail, but I'd never do it from like a cold list. We haven't had much luck with it, but we do love it for a follow-up tool because you're able to do it in bulk, which is super, super good. Bandit signs, we don't do them anymore. We did them all through 15, 16, and 17. And we may have done them a little bit in 18, but then we got off them. Now that was because it was territory driven. We had everyone and their dog doing bandit signs. And we would go place them up and someone cut them down and put theirs over ours. So we had crazy stuff like that. So we haven't done them. We noticed that they're not being posted that much anymore. So it might be a good time to be reminded of to go out there and try. Cause when we were doing them, we were getting deals, but then as we saw the numbers, they just started slipping down more and more and more. But it depends on your market. If they're not up, it could be one of 2 reasons. A, it could be a great way to go get deals because no one else is doing it. Or B, it could be maybe your city doesn't allow it or they fine you if you put them up. So you may want to check either way. But that's a great question, Jeremy. With the courthouses being closed in most major cities, what list would you recommend attacking if I were to start soon? You still should be able to find out like either online or by calling. Hopefully like county buildings are open. If so, tax delinquent. If not, there's definitely list in that portal. Let me put it up there real quick. right there. There's lists within here that are tied to this portal that you can get from Justin. He has access to great lists, and he gives my tribe, my people, my community, my cost on that. So you could also reach out to them, let them know that Cody Hoffine sent you, and then he'll give you my pricing. But he has lists that you can purchase from them, which is awesome, awesome stuff. All right, guys, let's take a couple more and then let's head out. Thank you for encouraging us to focus on service to others. Is it Gatira? I hope. You're very welcome. Mario, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. You are very welcome. Guys, we went an hour and 15 minutes strong. I appreciate you guys. I signed up with you a year ago. Do I still get that price? Yes, you do. Go to that portal. Let me put it up one more time. Go to that portal, openlettermarketing.com. I just barely set this up about a month ago. I've been working with him for months on this because I wanted it perfect. I wanted it tested. I wanted it tried. I wanted it proven. My team switched over to it. And gosh, we love these guys. They have been so good, and they're service oriented and investor oriented because he is an investor himself. So he knows what campaigns are good. They're not just trying to sell you some crap campaign or selling you some crap postcard or some crap letters or anything like that. He is an investor. He knows what works. And he opened my eyes to different things. I'm like, I've been just doing this. He's like, try this. And we tried it. And I'm like, oh, we like it. This is great. So that way you can go try it. And that'll be something you can do. So yes, grateful you joined a year ago. I hope things are going well. And yes, you still get that pricing. We want you to serve you forever. So go in there and go get it. How do you stay patient? I've done 2 deals, but I have no consistency. Usually it's just little tweaks. I want you to know this. Big results come from small, consistent action. Big results come from small, consistent action. You don't get it from big action. It's just staying consistent with the small things. Being willing to do the small things that no one else is willing to do consistently. That's the difference when you look at a company like, oh my gosh, they are blowing up. They're doing so well. It's because they do the small things really well. So it's nothing big. There's just small little tweaks that you could do. So if you need help with that, people on here that if you're needing help on getting off the roller coaster, like high month, low month, high month, low month. Again, 4th of July right now, we're doing $500 off. There's a link, depending on where you're at, YouTube or Facebook, there's a link somewhere on here where you can click and fill out a small little application to hop on the phone with either myself or my team and get out there and start doing deals. I mean, that's really the exciting thing about this. Guys, let me send you all to your family, your loved ones. It is the 4th of July weekend. I want you to enjoy this day. Thank you so much. Man, what an honor to be here for an hour and 15, now almost an hour and 20 minutes. Thank you so much. You guys brought some incredible questions. I hope I added value. I hope this has been something that when you get off, you're like, I'm going to go take action. I hope you learned that direct mail is still the best way to get deals, and it is our lowest cost per conversion. And it does all the heavy lifting. You don't have to proactively pick up the phone or take away valuable time from your family. You can just have the direct mail do it for you. You guys are rock stars. Thank you so much. Let's see. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend. God bless you guys. Go out there, go get deals, get consistent, commit to just the small and simple things. And I can promise you that's the difference for the big results. You guys are awesome. God bless you guys. Enjoy your loved ones. Enjoy this weekend. And we'll do this again soon. Take care.